Hey, this is Desar Tutorials. Today we'll be showing you how to make a hyperspace drive on gmod 10 using wiremod and the hoverdrive. First, start off by spawning a plate in the ground, and then going up your list and finding GPS. It's under wire detection. Put a GPS at one side of the board and put another one at the other end. Now go to Entities on your top tabs as shown and double click on the hoverdrive controller to spawn one. It's generally good if you weld that to the board. We're just using easy weld to make it quick, but it generally doesn't matter which one you use. Now we've got to spawn some chips. Go to Gate, Arithmetic, and click on Subtract. And just click on your board to spawn them. Go back into Gate Arithmetic. Click on Multiply. And click on the board to spawn them. You want 3 of them to start with. Now go back into Gate Arithmetic and click on Add. Now go back in and you want square root this time. Quite a few different gates here. And you want some divides. May look a bit confusing as we're using the same gates, but same models for the gates, but it's just as easy. Now you want to multiple multiply gates. And more add. And like before, just click on the board to spawn them. Now we have a nice little pattern on the board. Now go into wire I/O input output. Click on constant value. On your first under value 1, you want it to have 2000, and number of values is 1. 2000, and place that on the board. And now get your wire tool. It's at the bottom of the list. Get your wire tool. Doesn't matter what color you have it. Wire up the A of the one that first subtract. To the first GPS and to output X. Just click twice. A of the second subtract gate to the GPS and output Y. Then the A of the third subtract to the GPS and to output Z. These are your X, Y, and Z coordinates. They will be when we're finished. Now the B of your first subtract, all the way down the board. You can right click on the board to change where the wire is going. Just change the direction of the wire, and put it into the GPS at the back by the hover drive and output X, and repeat for the next two. Subtract like you did the first time. There's always the B input, output, and connect it up to the GPS at the back and output Y. Make sure the output X, Y and Z of the subtracts at the front are also the same for the GPS at the back. Very important. And to output Z, just to make sure. Now the A input of the first multiply gate, you want to put to the first subtract, the X subtract. Output B of the first multiply, you want to put also to the first subtract. And repeat with the second multiply gate and third, and just carry on, because these will be your X, Y and Z coordinates. Now the A input of your add gate into the first multiply gate, and the B output into your second gate, and C into your third gate, your X, Y and Z multiplier gates. Now the A output of your square root into your add. Now into the second section of gates. The A input of your first divide, you want to put over to your X subtract, your first subtract, and your second divide, the A output into the second subtract, your Y subtract, and the same for the third divide into your Z subtract. Now the B output of your first divide, you want to put into your 2000 constant, aka into your square root. The B output of your second divide into your square root, and the B output of your third divide into your square root. A output of your multiply on the second row, just put it up into your divide. The same with the second. If you've laid it out like we have, it's fairly simple. Now the B output of your multiply into your constant, and the same for all of them. All three of the middle divide multiplies into your constant. Now your A output of your add at the bottom there, or your bottom ones there, up into the multipliers adjacent. Okay, the B output of your bottom gate, you want up into your GPS. It's the output X. Now the B output of your second add on that row. Remember, you can right click to change the direction of your wire halfway through. Back also into the GPS, into the Y output, just like at the beginning. Your B output of your third gate. Left click there. You right click to change the direction of the wire, and into your GPS, into the Z output. into your Z output. Now onto the hover drive itself. On the X jump target, you right click on the jump drive to cycle and all the objects to cycle through, in case you didn't know already, into your first add on your 3x3 grid. Now the Y jump target into your second add on the 3x3 grid, and now your Z jump target into the third add on your grid. And now go on to your remote input. So here's your number pad input. And your wire input output, you'll use your number pad input and set any key binding you want. We'll be using enter. And just attach it to your board. Now go back down into get your wire tool out again, and cycle through till you get set jump target, and attach that to your remote input, and also set jump to your remote input. And now I usually use hoverballs to lift it off the ground, but you don't need to. I usually bind it to a ship. I'm just using the physics gun to hold it off the ground here. And I'm going to move it into more of an open space, so it doesn't get stuck in a wall. It generally won't work sometimes if it's going to hit an open space, but there you go, that's the jump drive working. We'll do it again a bit higher up in a more open area. It's a bit slanted now, oh well. And now press enter to watch it jump. Oops, wrong way, but still. But that's the jump drive. Thanks for watching.
Hey, this is Antir of Tassar Tutorials, and I'm going to give a brief explanation of the jump drive that you just saw being made, if you've been watching this tutorial. So, there it is. The basic way it works is just comparing the coordinates of these two GPSs on the front and back, and it needs to use the X, Y, and Z coordinates, and just use basic trig functions, pretty much, to calculate. So, basically, at the start, it just figures out the difference between the X, Y, and Z coordinates of both the GPSs, just to know the vector from here to there, or from there to there, depending which way around you did it. Doesn't really matter. And then, if you know any, basic Pythagoras, it's just you square the X, Y, and Z, and then add them together with an add, and then just square root. And that gives you the distance from here to here. And then over here, we've just divided each of the X, Y, and Z vectors by this thing we've just calculated. And this will give you your unit vector, which basically means if you think of a line in that direction, what a unit vector is just one unit in this direction. I don't know what gmod actually uses, whether it's meters or whatever, but it's just one unit in this direction. And these X, Y, and Z values will now, if you went by the vector of these X, Y, and Z values, it would go across one unit. But then you multiply each of them by some constant, and that'll just make it go further, basically. You can change this constant to whatever you want for the jump drive to go further, but that's the basic idea. And then you need to add it on to the one of the GPSs. Well, yeah, just add it on to one of the GPSs, because else the jump drive, it'll just go to the position in relation to whatever coordinate 0, 0, 0 is on this map, which I have no idea. But by adding on this one, say, it'll firstly go here, but then add on the vector that you've just calculated, so it'll, just fly over here, or whatever. What? Okay. If you just want an example, then wait, I'll just crap. There goes the jump drive. Anyway. Okay. Yeah. No. If I just change this constant value to 1, then this will give you basically go 1 meter in that direction. It should be, yeah. So was it that? Yeah. And then you can just change this constant to whatever you want, and it'll just go further by that scale, basically. What? Oh yeah, okay. So we turn it at 10, not 10,000. Delete. That will now go 10 times further. Just 10 times further. Times. Okay, Dan's just arguing with me, but okay. It's 10 times further. Yeah, there's probably I've probably done it so it adds on to the wrong one or something, because that doesn't seem like 10 times further, but when you get up into the thousands, it doesn't make much of a difference anyway. And you can fiddle around with that however you like. That's basically it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah. That's been tutorials for the hyperdrive, and good luck with making it if you want to. See ya.